2021 is going to be a very, very tough year for us. My name is Brandon Gibson. I'm the owner of Megalo Technologies, Megalo Social Media, and the entire Megalo platform. Spent the last 10 years under construction, and the reason it's going to be such a hard year is not because of COVID-19 or because of some other reason. It is because as a small company of ourselves, we are taking big tech head on. And it started with me wanting to take on Facebook. And it started off as a platform called Genesis Social Media. That was the beta testing platform that I developed, and I have been under construction of it since 2009. Facebook was not quite censoring their users by then, but by the time they were, I was so furious with Facebook that I literally threw my phone across the room and broke it. And I realized that if Facebook has so much control over us to the point where I literally destroy my Apple phone, they have way too much control over the users. So as my brother pointed out, why don't you build a platform to compete with them? Because at the time, Facebook had no competitors except for MySpace, and MySpace was already pretty much dead at that point. MySpace is now owned by Time Magazine. Ironic, I guess, in some weird way, because they have nothing to do with social media. So we developed Megalo Social Media, which was at the time Genesis Social Media. And to show my commitment to the project, I turned down a $31 million offer last November of 2019 by Facebook. They tried to buy me out for $31 million. I have a letter here to prove it. I photocopied the letter, and then I wrote, "Go fuck yourself" on the letter and mailed it right back, because there's no way in hell am I going to sell my pride to Facebook for a few dollars. And the reason I didn't buy it is because of a valuable lesson that I learned from observation. A nerd walked into a computer store in Albuquerque, New Mexico in the early 80s, offered this guy who was fixing calculators and TVs at the time $50,000 for a software program that he built but didn't quite know its capability of. That guy turned around and sold it for millions of dollars by calling it MS-DOS and founded Microsoft. And you can't tell me the guy who sold that software for a few dollars didn't realize what he had and isn't kicking himself in the ass right now for selling it out. Same model goes for here. I refuse the offer to Facebook because of that alone. And I get arguments all the time from my business partners and various other people in my family who say, well, if you'd have sold it, then you'd have the money for everything else and you won't need an investor. And I say, well, my pride isn't for sale. The fact that they think I'm stupid for turning the money down is whatever. That's because they're too ignorant to realize that I'm not going to sell my pride of the project I spent 10 years building out for a few dollars, because Facebook wants to monopolize. Monopolizing is actually very illegal for a corporation to do. They are not allowed to hinder competitors because they feel they should be the only one, like Facebook does. Mark Zuckerberg has the mentality of, I own Facebook, everyone in the world has Facebook, therefore I own the world and I am God. That's how he treats his social media platform, like he is God. He is not God. He's just a very rich nerd who thinks he knows everything. And the guy's quite frankly an asshole. And that being said, we are taking on big tech now, not just Facebook. We have a search engine. We have a shopping platform. We're building our own currency now. We have a news network. We have a video platform. We have a lot of things that already exist in this world. But the ones that exist in this world treat their users like commodities as a measure to sell and compile information by those users for government. Facebook never would have got this large on advertising alone. They got that large by selling your activity and your data and your personal information that you enlist on the site out to federal government. And you say, well, how can you guarantee that you won't collect information? Well, anytime you put a username in a website, or type a post, or send a picture, you're technically collecting data. The site is always collecting information. The question is, what do we do with that information once it is collected? Do we sell it, or do we just keep it on the site and not bother with it? Me personally, I don't want to bother with it. I have no artificial intelligence monitoring the site like Facebook does. We have no such thing as Facebook jail, or Megalo jail as I'm going to put it. And we will never sell your personal information. That being said, I do not ever expect my company to get nearly as big as Facebook, because we will never sell that information that makes billions. We will never hinder your news feed. We will never hinder anything of your activity. As long as people abide by the laws, don't threaten other users, don't stalk or harass, don't use the site to sell drugs to other users, don't you do it for illegal activity, you will have nothing to worry about. And as far as I'm concerned, every user owns their profile. Once you create a profile, that is your personal property. We may own the site, but what you put on the site and on your profile is all you. So the reason 2021 is going to be such a hard year is because we are taking on multi-trillion-dollar corporations like Google, Facebook, Amazon. We are taking them all head on because we feel that they don't have the right to tell people what they can and can't say. We don't feel that they should have the right to regulate news to show you what you are allowed to know and what you should believe. Herding the sheep, as people would call it. Herding the sheeple. And unfortunately, Facebook and big tech, they control the world by how they allow, what they allow you to see and allow you to say. I use the phrase "get her done," which is not copyrighted by Larry the Cable Guy, by the way. And I got put in Facebook jail because they said it was an offensive term, whatever that means. And that being said, I want you guys to know that we're here for you. Megalo Social Media and Megalo Technologies is here to help the users and here for the users. And we are developing and building this platform for users who want free speech, who want privacy, and who want to know that they aren't being tracked by other corporations and we aren't compiling your data, and that you are secured and within our platform. It is built on a VPN. It is 100% secured by a SHA-256 encryption, and it has bank level security, that being said. So get on Megalo and join the team. And by the way, we are always looking for investors. But to find an investor who is not scared to take Facebook head on, or who is not in a corporate big pocket, or who is not in a political pocket, we don't take political sides. I'm a Trump supporter, but I will not hinder or be upset with somebody for posting something about the opposite party. You are who you are at the end of the day, and it's your American right to know and be secured and be free. Enjoy Megalo Social Media and know that we are building here for you.